Hello, and welcome to the Bus Hollman Show, Series 2, Episode 10. I haven't done one for a few weeks, but I've been fucking busy. Working 3 days a week, sometimes 4. But it's been pretty quiet. So just catching up on work around the fucking yard, putting up with these fucking dogs. Fishing's just starting to really pick up. It's only the last few weeks it's picked up. So anyway, we'll talk about all that shit later. This is a Bus Hollman Show. Show about shit, what I'm up to, what I've done, stories from where I used to live back in Bundertown, Burke. That's a lot of shit. We've got it all today. We're going to catch up on everything. All our normal segments are on today. Our craft beer, which we're going to get into first off the cuff. All of last week's NRL games and this week's NRL games. The hamburger challenge. Had a good hamburger this week. At the Ballina Surf Life Saving Club on the beach there. Talk a bit about politics. Got a couple of great tips for Saturday. Hope you get onto this show tonight or tomorrow morning. This is Friday afternoon, so I've got a couple of really good tips tomorrow at Eagle fucking Farm. Heaps of random shit we're going to be talking about. A few old stories. Bus's top 5. Stay tuned for this. I'm going to chuck out 2 top 5s that are totally opposite to what you will ever see. So my first top 5 will be Bus's top 5 sexual positions. Yeah, you heard that right. Bus's top 5 sexual positions. And something totally different. I'm going to chuck in the top 5 my all-time greatest roosters that I've seen play. And the reason I chucked that in was because I was talking to my daughter this morning, who's a big Melbourne Storm fan, and we're talking about Harry Grant. And Harry Grant reminded me so much of 2 players. Brad Fittler, first of all, best rooster, and another local fella that I had the fortune to play with that we'll talk about. I think I've mentioned him before, Chris, and we're going to talk about that later. So we're going to cover a lot of shit, but first of all, we're going to get into our craft beer special. I don't know if I've told you this, but look here. I've got another dog. Get down here. I call him the chocolate frog. Yeah, sausage dog. Look at him, the chocolate frog. You hope he don't bark like that other cunt, because if he did, straight over the fence for this cunt. Get down there, chocolate frog. Righto, our beer this week, our craft beer special. Before I go any further, just remember, a lot of swearing in this show, a lot of sexual innuendo, a lot of dirty stories, and a lot of swearing. If you don't like that shit, turn the fuck off now. Just put it away now. Don't put in complaints about me, because you've got the opportunity right now to turn the shit off. Okay? I have warned you. Our craft beer segment. It's from up. I got this one from up in the hinterland at Mullumbimby. It's called Wandana Brewing Co. Wandana Brewing Co. Mullumbimby up near Byron Bay. Up in the hinterland there. Just on the outskirts of Mullumbimby. Great little spot. Got a great brewery there. And if you ever get a chance out that way, go and have a look at it. It's great atmosphere. Dog friendly. The little chocolate frog can go to. Dog friendly. Kid friendly. Great food. And really good beer. But this is the beer what we're going to go to today. We've got a few. We've got 8. Now, we're going to go for the Wandana Roadie. Now, Wandana Roadie, 4.5% alcohol. Why do so many of these craft beers, they're all fucking like higher strength? And I don't know. Tell you what's fucking scary. I don't know if any of you drunk that hard solo. It's like a solo. I got a carton of it the other day, 24 fucking $90 or $100. I don't know. $90 I think the cunt was. No, there might have been 16 in a carton. Yeah, 16 in a carton. I think I drunk 10 and my missus drunk 6. I was a mess. I was a fucking mess. Got on the lounge, I was going to hit. Look, I had a few beers first, and then I got at the hard solo. And I think after about 5 hard solos, I looked over the missus and said, right, tonight, Yeah, you'll know what's about to go down. After 10, old lounge got me. Oh, fucking lounge got me. Here we go. Yeah, Wandana Roadie. Let's see how it goes. We'll have a skull first. We'll pour it out to see what that there's like. Very clear sort of a beer. Yeah, it's a bit, well, it's not that clear now that it's settled. It's very pale. Oh, fruity. And I can't pick up on it yet. Oh, it's orangey. It's very orangey. It's like it's citrusy. Citrusy in the orange colour. Could be mandarin, could be orange, something like that. Anyway, that's enough of the fucking smelling. Oh, that's all right. No, I don't mind that at fucking all. We'll give them a crack this afternoon while we're doing the show. Wandana Roadie. Very fruity, very orangey fruity. It is, so. Rightio. Let's get in it. Bus Hollman Show. Listen, you can get me on Spotify. What's the other one I'm on? Spotify. Oh, yeah, I'm on YouTube now. You can watch all this shit happening. You can see what I'm filming in my shed down the back here. So watch me on YouTube. But if not, you can get me on fucking Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget that there. And remember, baby, what I always say, money don't make you happy, but it'll buy you a big boat and put huge titties on your missus. Giddy up, boys. Oh. Tell you what, that beer, that's going to be up there with the... Well, I got cans over here on my wall. The Traveller beer. It's up there with the Traveller already. Righto, last week's games, eh? Let's get into last week's games. Really starting to secure the season now. Like, it's really at that time of the season where things are really starting to settle out. The good teams are performing, the lower teams are going, except for the big one on the weekend. We got to talk about that shit with the Tigers beating the Bulldogs. Come on, that was a huge win. And what a game. 28-14 to the Tigers. And all the big talk this week of the hood. That's it. What is it? One finger down, three up later. The hood. What a fucking beat up. And of all town teams to complain about that, the fucking Bulldog supporters. Oh, listen here, Baked Bean. I've got two fellas, Baked Bean I and Charlie. Both you cunts go on about Bulldogs all the time. You got the most threatening fucking supporters in the competition, and someone waves a hand at them and they want to complain about it. And the NRL, look, listen, I'm sorry, but the NRL should have said grow the fuck up. Putting on all the performance that they did about that there, about the hood, no, fuck that. The Storm 16 over the Eels 10. The Dolphins, coach of the year, this fella, 20 over the Warriors 18. Broncos touched up the fucking second grade. They've got a few. I hate the fucking Rabbits. They're putting a side out each week. A lot of second graders. Broncos 60, Rabbitohs 14. 36 to 26 over the Titans. Old mate run in front of the kick. At first, when I first seen it, I thought he'd done it deliberately. To put the kicker off. But I've had a look at it 20 times this week. And I looked at his face and I looked at the way he ran and all that. And you know what? I'm actually convinced that it was a total accident. It was the wrong thing to do, not making up excuses. But I'm totally convinced now that it actually was a genuine accident. But it was wrong, and I believe in what a lot of them said. I think he should have got a penalty in front of the post for it. I think it's something that's happened once in 50 years, so we don't have to change the fucking constitution for it. But it's something they should put down to, if in case it just happens again. Dragons 18 over the Raiders 12. You look a big Flanagan fan as a coach. I just rate him. I just love. He's an old style coach that he's an old style coach that has still kept up with the modern way of coaching. And I really rate for him. I just like him. I like Flanagan. I love what he did with the Sharks when they won the grand final, how he had a... And believe me, I know as a coach myself that for a coach like Flanagan at the Sharks that year, when he had so many big personalities and he was able to keep them all into gear and being on the same page, I just thought it was a great... And so I've always been a Flanagan fan since then. They done the Raiders. I think it was a loss the Raiders needed to have. I really think we're going to see the Raiders really kick on now. I hope they do. I really hope. I'm riding the Raiders. But yeah, it was a loss they needed. But never surprising the Dragons get up. Dragons actually had a good record at home against Oban. Roosters 20 over the Sea Eagles 4. DC, we don't need that motherfucker. I know we're going to get him, but fuck me. Jesus, fair dinkum. Anyway, we've got to resign to the fact that we're going to get him. And obviously the Sharkies too good. Sharkies too good for the Cowboys, 32-12. Sharkies still haven't grabbed me yet. I still don't know whether they're deciding it, but I don't know. They just haven't grabbed me. Anyway, that's last weekend's games. So, what's Bus been up to? Okay, well, tell you what I've been up to. I'm going to grab another. Yeah, nice. What's Bus been up to this week? Actually 3 weeks since I've done the last. Apologise, but I've just been too busy. It's actually a lot to do with a fucking show. I really wish I could get it more regular, but I'm going to try. I always say that, but I fucking am. Anyway, played golf at Amber a couple of times. I've played at McLean once. Yeah, should have got another round in. I think I'm going to have to join it. I think I'm going to join the Yamba Golf Club and become a member there. I've been out to Sanctus Brewery. I went out there last week, me and the missus, and I had a seafood pizza. It was actually, it was a reef and beef, surf and turf pizza. Fuck, it was good. That's a fucking great pizza that out there they do out there. And it's not bad, not brilliant beer, but it's a good beer. It's a beer that you'd have if you're going out for a meal and that there. And I had some arancini balls for an entree. But their pizza, I'm going to call it. I think it's the best pizza I've ever had. Surf and turf pizza at Sanctus Brewery out of Townsend. Best pizza I've had. I'm going to call it. There you go. Been up to rugby a fair bit in the last 3 weeks. Back into the season, watching the Suns play. First grade finished minor premiers. And it looks as though, I reckon it'll be out of, I think if things go according to plan, they finish first. I think they could play Ballina in the first grade grand final, and then Wollongbar will also get their second grade in, and I think second grade will play Casuarina in second grade. So rugby's been great. I'll tell you what, I went up 2 weeks ago to Ballina. It's going to get a little bit of this Wandama fucking roadie. It's not bad beer. Not bad beer. Went up to Ballina for the rugby, and I know we've watched rugby in the rain, and I know we've seen football in the rain, and we've done all that, and I've played, I couldn't tell you how many games I've played in the rain, but I'm telling you fucking now, I was up in Ballina 2 weeks ago to watch Wollongbar play Ballina, and it started raining, and I don't just mean fucking rain, fucking raining. Motherfucker was pouring, like you literally nearly couldn't see the other side of the field. And I'm not fucking exaggerating, you nearly couldn't see the other side of the field, it rained that hard. So it started raining about 20 minutes before first grade kicked off. It never stopped. 80 minutes, it never let up. It poured the whole fucking time. It's only got a small grandstand. I couldn't get a seat there. All the Ballina crowd had fucking big tents and all that, so they were fucking under that. I just had to bite the bullet. I just had to fucking stand. I had a raincoat and an umbrella. I put it up for 5 minutes, but the wind was too strong. I had to put that cunt down. It's the wettest I've ever watched a game of football in my fucking life. And a great game too, by the way, so it made it worthwhile. I'll tell you what I think. Been fishing a bit. The water in the river here at the Clarence has really cleared up. It's got really good all the way back up here to Harvard where I live and right up past McLean. The clear water and the salt's really pushing up, so all down around the heads at Yamba and Iluka, it's really starting to fish really well. Just brim and some Jew, a few Taylor if you're looking for them, but I think the flatties will start coming on very soon. But yeah, really happy with the fishing at the moment. Went out on a fishing charter, Yamba deep sea fishing charters, me and the son-in-law. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be on, always got to be honest, there's no good telling fucking lies. I could be the only cunt that's gone out on a fishing charter and never caught a fish. I caught 2 small snapper, but I never kept a keeper. Never kept a fucking keeper. 2 small snapper, and they're little fellas. They're 6 o'clock in the morning, I got there about 5:45. And we're waiting on the charter, me and Darcy T. And anyway, we seen a fucking family come on, and there was like a mother and a father and a grandmother and a grandfather and 3 fucking kids, 7 of them. And I thought, oh fuck, this is going to be 3 kids. And they were young. I reckon they ranged from fucking 10 to probably 14. Don't know what their parents were doing, but they had 3 in about fucking 4 years. And she was all right too. I can see why old mate hit her and got 3 out in 4 years. But geez, he wouldn't be doing much there now. I thought they're going to be kind of a trip because the kids will be tangling up everything and old mate will be baiting them up and it'll be just a kind of a trip with them little cunts. They caught fucking everything. They caught mahi, they caught coral trout, they caught jewfish, they caught snapper. Them little cunts caught everything. And then the other pair that was on the charter, they had an NDIS worker with a disabled bloke. I'm just calling it how I see it, he was disabled. That cunt caught more fish than me. He was the NDIS worker and they were dropping the line over the fucking side. And after time he couldn't wind the cunt up. But he got 3 fucking big ones. He even got his photo with these big fish that he caught on their website 2 days later. I had kids and NDIS clients out fishing me. I can tell how it is. I can't lie that shit because I know Darcy T will dob me in. If I claim otherwise, I know that cunt will dob me in. Yeah, what a fuck. I can't be. Markets. Been to a few. Yamba, Riverside markets, which are one of the biggest on the north coast, but not as the further north you go. I think they get a bit bigger up around Mullumbimby. Got to them markets, and Mullumbimby huge markets, good markets too. Yamba market, Riverside markets, probably nearly as big, but not quite as big. Been to the farmers markets 3 or 4 times. Avocado. I don't know if I told you this last week, but I found an avocado tree. Just got to work that out and get over the fucking fence. I've been looking, since I got here, I've been trying to find an avocado tree so I can knock some avocados off. I'll tell you what I did find the other day. I found a bloke selling fucking lambs and ewes. I've just got to convince one of the sons to come with me to catch a cunt in the paddock. I haven't killed a fucking and dressed a sheep in 10 years. It'll be 10 years. I just want to do another sheep. I want to do a sheep. I don't know what it is, but I just want to be able to do a sheep and hang it up and let it set and then cut it up. But I found a bloke and he had a fucking sign up. He actually had a sign up saying that he had lambs and ewes for sale. And they were pretty reasonable too. He'd give me phone number and he address. Oh, fuck me. He gone, that cunt. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. I've been working, just doing a bit of shit and fishing whenever I fucking can. We'll give a bit of a shout out. I want to give a bit of a shout out to a few people before we go any further. Obviously, the Narromine underground fucking gophers, them digging cunts. Big shout out to them boys. They follow it every fucking week and they're great supporters. And the fucking Morris is out there with the fucking baby cock arms on him like that, a big solid cunt. And the boys, big shout out to them there. Hey, and also I want to give a big shout out to Luke and Clifford out there in Burke. They're big supporters and follow the show. I call them the Concrete Cowboys. The Concrete Cowboys, don't fuck with them either, by the way, because they'll muck up, them two. But Luke and Cliff out there, the Concrete Cowboys out in Burke, big shout out to them. And I do want to give a big shout out to a cousin of mine, Brett, and his young son, Hunter, who made the Brumbies under-16 side for next year. Good on you, Hunter. Great job, mate. Hope you go well. I know you will. Tell you what I did find the other day too, just by the way. I found some wild oysters. Found a place on one of the little jetties that a bloke told me about, and a huge big fucking Amber Bay oysters there. I went in the boat the other day and chipped a heap off with a chisel and a fucking hammer, and fuck, they were nice oysters. At this time of the year, but they were fucking nice oysters. And I'm telling this story because it reminded me, I don't know if you remember the bloke called Les Higgins. Les Higgins had this big fucking hat. He used to work for the Australian Army, and he used to go around all of Australia and he'd find bush tucker. It was Les, so he made a show on ABC called The Bush Tucker Man, Les Higgins. But his job, he was employed by the Australian Army to find native food that military people could eat if they ever got stuck in the bush. And he made a show about it. And I remember Les Higgins, somewhere, I can't remember the place, but somewhere on New South Wales coast, South Coast and North Coast, I don't know. But he found these beautiful oysters. And he told a story about, bear with me, but he told a story about how when the first fleet came over to Australia, that they started eating oysters. And it's actually written in diaries of people that were on the first fleet that stayed in Botany Bay in Sydney, that these convicts, not just the convicts but also the guards, the troopers from England or whatever they were called, but how they all had massive hard-ons. And they couldn't understand, like blokes were writing in their diaries how hard their cock was and how they were basically masturbating and having sex. They were having gay sex, not gay sex, whatever. I don't even know what to fucking call it these days. They got me fucking confused. But anyway, they were having gay sex because they couldn't, their cocks were so hard. But the reason was that they were all eating these, and because we think of it these days and people think, oh, I eat fucking 2 dozen oysters in a sitting and nothing happens to me. But it's because our bodies now are so accustomed to having stuff in our system from different foods and tablets and vitamins and minerals that when we have 24 oysters, we get no effects from it. But you go back 200 years ago when none of them had that, and the blokes come from England, all of a sudden they're having oysters that are aphrodisiacs that have this stuff in them, and they're walking around the fucking bush in fucking New South Wales with these cocks sticking out that you're going to hang coat hangers on. Have you ever tried putting coat hangers on your cock? I was talking a while ago about coat hangers on nipples. 4 coat hangers on nipples. The biggest nipples I think I've seen were 4 coat hanger nipples. I don't know. You reckon they try to hang their jackets or their hats on their cocks? They're little games people play. We've all played them games. You put the towel and hang the towel over. Wouldn't work these fucking days with a bus, I can tell you. That towel falls straight to the fucking ground. Oh, wild oysters. Anyway, politics. Let's move on to politics. I read a report the other day, and I checked it because it was on the news. Listen, see how I just said that, how you check? Lately I've been listening to a lot of this stuff about the war in Palestine, and I agree. Unfortunately, I think the Israelis have gone too far. And why I say unfortunately was because I think that if they got to a certain stage where they reacted to what happened when Hamas invaded Israel and killed all those people, but I think they've crossed the line. I think they've just gone too far. But saying that, 2 sides of the story, and there's so many young people making comment on this that don't know 2 side stories. So I always tell my kids and my mates, listen to both sides of the argument, then work out what the truth is. And no matter where it is, it's no matter what it is in politics, you need to listen to the two sides of the story. And you can draw so many young people now in Australia will talk about something they've seen on YouTube or someone that has said something in the media, and they'll latch onto that and they'll run with that. And the whole argument is based on that one opinion from one person. They'll stick to that. And they won't listen to any outside noise. They won't make a concerted effort to listen to two sides and make a decision. And you can make a direct correlation to the liar and the lodge. Alba, this cunt, he won't talk about anything. Look at our power. So I read the other day, it took a long way to get to this, what I'm about to say. And this was the thing that was thrown around. This cunt over here. Look at these cunts here. Now we paid it in the world. And I think I've chucked this out before, but it is official now. It is actually official. And I'm just going to have a look down at my notes here. But we are the second highest country in the world for what we pay for power. The second highest in the world. And do you know what country beats us? The only other country in the world that pays more for power than what Australia does? Nicaragua. Fucking Nicaragua pays more than What the fuck is Chris Bowen doing? And the liar in the lodge elbow, that motherfucker. No, sorry, apologise. Shouldn't call a Prime Minister motherfucker. He's just a cunt, okay? Sorry. Shouldn't call him motherfucker because that's being impolite to our Prime Minister. I apologise to the liar in the lodge. You are not a motherfucker. You are just a cunt. But they won't even talk about two sides. They won't even talk about nuclear. They won't even talk about coal. We're in a country that is some of the richest country in the world, and we're paying the think about it. You cunts need to think about this. We are paying the second highest power rate in the fucking world. Nicaragua is the only country that pays more power. We sell, get this. This is fact. You can look this up. I'm telling you now, look the fuck this up. We sell gas. We sell gas to Japan. Japan get our gas, they send it over in these big fucking ships. They put it into 9 kilo, 3 kilo, fucking them little fucking, I've got one right here, look, I just reach over here, look, I was off my little barbecue, I carried it. They put them in these shit, look, this little butane, high performance fuel, 220 grams. They put it in these things and they fucking sell it back to us. They fucking sell it back to us. And we're paying, we sell it to them. They work it, they bottle it, they send it back on another ship, maybe the same fucking ship that went over there full. He got to come back dry, so they load that cunt up. He come back and we buy that cunt back off him. There's something wrong with that. Come on. Fuck. And that Chris Bowman, oh, you can't, you start. Look, these cunts here, look. Chocolate Frog and Benji, wrestling in here. Don't be fucking wrestling, you cunts. Chris Bowman. You know what I hate? There's people, and I'm not one of them, so I'm not looking for the fucking sorrow card here. But there are people in Australia that can't afford to pay their power. There's people in Australia that they can't put the heater on in winter. They got to sit up with blankets and clothes on. They can't cook hot meals, so when they go to the grocery store, they have to buy stuff that they can't cook because they can't turn their oven or their stove on. There are people in Australia living like that. And whenever he's asked a question, this Chris Bowen, you look at him in Parliament question time, he laughs and he smirks. All right for him on a couple $100,000 a year, probably more, and doesn't have to worry about power. Look at all these young families and then the old people that can't afford that sort of stuff in Australia. When we've got so many minerals and that in Australia, and he laughs and he smirks. He's a cunt. I'm just going to tell you right now, He's a cunt. I've got to move on because I'm just getting a little bit wild here. We're going to go on to fishing and punting. Oh, Wanda beer. It's all right. Wandama beer. So, yeah, the fishing. I'm talking to the Macquarie River Bandit only today, actually. Macquarie River Bandit was telling me that the fishing in Dubbo's got pretty good. The Paru Pirate, he hadn't been fished. Crookatoo Bath. Sorry, go back. I'll slow down. Oh, Wandana beer's got me. So, Macquarie River Bandit, he'd been doing a little bit of fishing with the worms. He found out a good place to get worms. And he's been getting a few small cod around Narrabri, but nothing big. The Paru Pirate, he hasn't been out because he's been all over fucking Australia, but he ain't been out fucking fishing. But Crookatooth Bart and the Red Coin on the Darling, they were catching a few down around the 90-mile weir in Burke on Yabbies. The Macquarie River Bandit and the Barwon Princess went out to Burke, I think only about 2 weeks ago, and they stayed with the Colgoa Cowboy. Look at all these names, but this is a fact. This is a fact. Macquarie River Bandit, the fucking Bogan Princess, and they stayed with the Colgoa Cowboy. You can't make this shit up. You just can't make it up. But he got a heap of yellow belly. Got a heap of yellow belly on fucking worms out there near Burke at a secret spot. So the fishing's going all right here. I've been catching a heap of brim. I fucking got some really good size, fucking 36 to 38 centimetres. Really good size brim all around the walls at Yamba and Iluka. Haven't had no luck with anything. The flatties still haven't come on yet. But fishing Iluka Wall, been getting some really good tailor and just some good school Jew, 40 to 50 centimetres. So, yeah, the odd ones come home, got to be honest. But the river's really starting to perform now. It's coming up trumps. And I tell you what, I follow a bloke on YouTube. I'll actually get it for you. Wait there. Oh. I follow this bloke on YouTube. I think he's from Yamba, and I'll show you for all those YouTubers that are watching. That little fella there. See that little fella there? That's a little soft plastic prawn. Okay, look at that. That is the most lifelike prawn or soft plastic, and I reckon 75% of soft plastics try to imitate a prawn, because it's the one bait that literally every fish eats. Every fish. If you're making a bait for a human being, okay, so you are ET, you landed in the world, somewhere in the world, and you had like a fishing line, and you wanted to catch a human with bait. What would you use? I reckon you would use hot chip. Every cunt eat hot chip. Would you eat hot chip? I mean, you could say you could make a rice, because look, I'm just saying, Asian and Chinese, Japanese, rice could be the number one thing. They might make a little ball, put it on a hook, chuck it out there, UFO, catch a human like that. But could be a chip too. Cunts would catch me quick. They'd run out of buses, I can tell you, because they'd hook that cunt every time. Anyway, this little plastic here, if you can see him, I'll hold him up there to the camera. He is the most lifelike fucking prawn you ever... Look at my fingers here. I got some fucking hooks stuck in my fingers the other day. I pulled a lure into my fingers and a treble, and I locked them all in that, and I couldn't open them up. I was out. It was the second cast of the fucking day. I broke a barb on it, and I was putting on a brand new treble, pulled it on, put it on, done a new knot, went to pull it like that, pulled the cunt clean out of my hand, treble straight in. I had to drive the boat back to the boat ramp, get in my car, load the boat and all that, and I had fingers like that. Couldn't do a fucking thing until I got back in hospital. Anyway, look at that. That's the most lifelike prawn I've ever come across, and a lot of people are starting. I can't wait to get out and chase some fucking flathead with that fella. Yeah, I think it's going to be fucking good. So anyway, that's the fishing. That's what's been happening with the fishing. Punting. Oh, you know what? I've had a pretty good run on the punt lately. I've only been punting a couple of times a week. Sunday's my big day. I don't do Saturdays. Can't do more, can you? Wait. Yeah, mate. Look at it there, mate. Anyway, I've been having a good day on the punt lately. So I don't like punting Saturdays for some reason. Sunday, I reckon better opportunities on Sundays. And I usually have a punt on Wednesday with the dogs. So punting this week, I tell you what, it's a really good little meeting up there in Queensland at Eagle Farm. Let's start up there, okay? Hope you subscribe. This is why you got to subscribe, so you get these tips early. Because I've been backing a few winners. You ask them fucking gophers over there at fucking Narrabri, them underground cunts. You know how them underground fellas get coal all and like black stuff all over their face, and you only see their white eyes? Do you reckon they get like that black coal dust like on their knob? Because I can't work. I can't go a day without playing my knob. I've got to scratch it, just like Fats Robbo, I've got to scratch it and play with it. Do you reckon they get home and they got like black stuff all over their knob? Surely they got black stuff all over their knob. Anyway, let's get on to the punt now. I just got to look down and see what we've got here. Eagle Farm, race 4. It's the Country Music Race Derby. Number 11, Johnny DeWolf. Johnny DeWolf, now it's paying $5 at the moment. It was runner-up at its last start, and I reckon it can go all the way. Now, it's trained by the two Munces brothers. Martin Harlow is the jockey. Good little jockey, and I really reckon it can go on. I reckon they've primed it for this race. Second favourite in the race. It's the second run back from a good spell, and it was runner-up last start. I reckon it's a big chance. So get on board with that. Eagle Farm, race 4, number 11, Johnny DeWolf. And here's me roughie for the day. Race 7, which is the 4X Open Handicap, over 1,400 metres. And I'm going for number 6, Amar. Now, it's paying $12 at the moment. It's got Ben Thompson on top, only carrying 54 kilos. So it's dropped down 6 kilos from its last start. It's had a few. This is probably about a 5th jump in a row, 5th start in a row. But it's just started coming. It started off with a couple of 5ths or 6ths, and then it's got a 4th and a 3rd. So it's starting to build. Now it's out of Leopard, and it's side by Schnitzel. Schnitzel's dropped a fair few horses. And so it's been steadily improving. I've been following it a little bit, and I think a big win is on the way. Jump on it now at about $12. Okay? Race 7, number 6, over 1,400 metres. Amar, get on board, get on it straight away. It's a big chance. We're going to get on to Bus's top 5 now, just after Bus gets another fucking beer. Here we go. Wonders. Wondan is going fucking all, I can tell you. Now listen. Oh, God, I had a good hamburger challenge the other day too. Bus's top 5. So I'm going to go Bus's top 5 sexual positions. And then I'm going to do another top 5. This is random, this one. Bus's top 5. I'll get time to do that. I'll hold that back off. I've got my top 5 roosters all time. We'll see if we've got time for that. We'll do that later, okay? Bus's top 5 sexual positions. And I'm going to go from 5 to 1. Rightio. So, my number 5. Now, this is not so much a sexual position, but it's a sex orientated. So I used to do this thing, and I know a few others did it too. I know a lot of others did it too. But I used to do this thing called frigging in the shower. And a bit of shampoo, you know what I'm saying. But just as you're about to end, and you're standing under the hot shower, I turn the hot water off, so it's just cold. And the cold water would hit you just as you finish. Whew. Sometimes it went off well, sometimes it was a motherfucker, and you fell out of the fucking shower. Number 4, Old leg over. You can't beat the old leg over. I mean, you can't beat that there. Number 3 was old carrot and ass. Because you ain't got toys all the time, so sometimes you got to go to the fridge or the cupboard and you get a carrot. I hope they're not fucking big carrots, but you get a carrot. Number 2, Bus's number 2, doggy. Come on. Fucking doggy. Number 1. Bus's number 1 out of his top 5 sexual positions come from the bush. Old rodeo rider. Reverse cowgirl. You can't beat the reverse cowgirl. So let's go through those again. Bus's top 5 sexual positions this week are: number 5, the old cold shower frig. Number 4 is the old leg over. Number 3 is carrot frig. Number 2 is doggy. And number 1 is the old reverse. Old barrel racers and barrel racers. Reverse cowgirl, number 1. There we go. Let's go on now to our hamburger challenge. So, my hamburger challenge this week is at the Ballina Surf Club Cafe. Now, it was a good little, it was maybe a bit more than just a little, it was really good, okay? So, the price, let's go through from the start. We'll go through each thing. Here we go. The price was $18.50. Now, $18.50, hamburger and chips and a little wooden, them little things they have. $18.50, and it was a good size. It wasn't brilliant, but it was a good size. Considering you pay up to $30 for a counter meal, this would do. Probably no, it wouldn't do. I'd probably need some salt and pepper squid or something to have them first before I had it. But it was pretty reasonable. $18.50, I want to give it a fucking 9 out of 10. It was definitely worth a 9 out of 10. The presentation, I just need a little bit more. You got hamburger and chips, it's in a wooden box. That's what you're paying for, and if it's only a fucking life-saving club on the beach. But I don't know, you could add maybe a little bit of salad, a little bit of green stuff on the top. I don't know, but it's just, you need something to grab it. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. The size was average. It wasn't big, it wasn't small, it was just average. Any normal person would do them. Not me. I definitely want some salt and pepper squid and a bit of salad before I had that. But I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Now the taste. I'm going to go through what it was. Just a plain, it was a good hamburger, a plain hamburger done. It was a beef patty, homemade beef patty, with bacon. It had bacon on top. Lettuce, tomato, onion and cheese. Lettuce, tomato, onion and cheese. But it had a mayo and a whole grain mustard. So it had mayo, whole grain mustard, and the combination fucking worked. I can't. It was simple, but it worked. Mayo and whole grain mustard. Yeah. Beef patty, bacon, lettuce, tomato, onion, cheese, mayo and whole grain mustard. It fucking worked. 9 out of 10. It was that good. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for the taste. The hamburger experience, this is a 2-parter. So, I had it last week, a week ago. So I'm only going to give it a 7 out of 10 for the experience, where I was at and all that. But potentially, if you go back there in summer, November through to February, especially if you go there December, January, the hamburger experience, so you got to remember, it's the Ballina Surf Lifesaving Club, right on the beach. The experience could be a 10 out of 10. It has the potential to be a 10 out of 10. But at this stage, I went in the winter, totally different. Could be a 10 out of 10 in the summer. Only going to give it a 7. That gives the grand total 38 out of 50. What's pissing Bus off? Our next subject. Now listen, I've got to tell it how it is. I've got to say it how it is. I can't hold any punches. But I'm going to tell you what's pissing Bus off. Asian or Chinese ladies. I'll say it straight out. Asian or Chinese ladies. So, what happened? I've noticed it a little bit, because I see them when I walk every morning. Asian ladies, they walk together and they talk, and I don't know whether this is racist or not. I don't think it is, because they could be Kiwis or they could be fucking French people. I don't care. But, and I know they don't have to talk in our language. I'm just, okay, I'm going to say it. But I went to the McLean Bowling Club the other night, a Chinese restaurant. And you've heard me on here before saying how, if I go to Thai, I want to see fucking Thai people cooking my food. I went to Indian the other fucking week at Luca, Indian fucking restaurant at the golf club out there. That fucking Johnny fucking Brown, Australian, went to school at fucking McLean High School, cooking Indian food. Johnny Brown. I don't know if that was his name. But Johnny Brown, and the waitress was fucking Kathy McKellar. I don't know, Australian. No, I go to Indian at Iluka. I don't give a fuck if it's the bowling club or the golf club or whatever club. But I want to see Indian people cooking my fucking food. So, I went, everyone was talking about McLean Bowling Club, Chinese. So I went there. Lovely Chinese lady, young lady, met us at the door. Showed us to our table. It was fucking brilliant. So I had a little bit of sensual bao come out. So when the old lady, it's a Chinese lady, she brought it out. Now, I had the sensual bao, and it was fucking, but I want a bit of soy sauce. So I just said to her, excuse me, can I have some soy sauce? So she looked at me and she said, again, I'm only paraphrasing what she said. But she said, and I looked over at my missus and said, what the fuck? I said, I just want some soy sauce. And you know how when you talk to a person in another language, you try to talk to them. If I'm talking in a French restaurant and I want to order French, I say, what I said, but I was in a Chinese restaurant, so I was like, soy sauce, soy sauce. And this is where it gets fucking interesting. Because I'm sure when she walked over to the fucking, like the counter, and she spoke in Chinese to the young lady that was behind it, and she was like, and then she said, soy sauce, fat fuck. I'm telling you now, she said fat fuck. I'm fucking telling you now, this is what she said. Fat fuck. She called me a fat fuck. I'm telling you fucking now, she called me fat fuck. So when she come back, this is what I do. So I make up my own language. So she come back and she's like, don't fuck soy sauce. I said, no good. No, that's not being racist. I'm just trying to fit in. I'm just saying what she said because I'm sure, I'm telling you now, I heard her say fat fuck. Now, believe me, I don't think fat fuck is in the Chinese language. But that's what she fucking called me. Fat fuck. Fucking Chinese was brilliant. By the way, I had sensual bao, and then I had lamb Mongolia. Fuck, it was nice. Sizzling lamb Mongolia. Fuck, it was nice. But the sensual bao was just off the planet. It was beautiful. But I'm telling you right now, she called me a fucking fat fuck. What else has been happening? What about that little bit? So we moved on to some random shit now. What about that politician the other day that got done for rape and the cunt wouldn't resign and they had to go to the Supreme Court? Yeah, that cunt need fucking slapping, I'll tell you now. And now listen, I thought of something the other day. I'll tell you why I thought of this the other day. Why are we getting charged extra in a surcharge for using our credit card. Now, hear me out. Now, if you're using a credit card on a Saturday or Sunday, and if you've got your own business and you've got to employ people for a Saturday, Sunday, you've got to pay them extra for a Saturday, double time for a Sunday. So I can understand that if you're paying an extra 5% or 10% on top of your bill that covers the wages, that's what it is. I understand. I used to be a small business owner myself, so I know exactly what they're saying. But think about this. So when banks are questioned over why they're cutting our cash, so they're trying to get us to not be, they're trying to make it a cashless country. So eventually we'll just have credit cards or our phones or whatever for that. And why is the reason for that? So the reason for that is they save on admin, they save on tellers, they save on having people employed, they close branches down because they don't need them, because everything's done by computer. And whether you withdraw or you deposit, it's all done by computer. So if they're doing that to save money, why are we then getting charged to use our credit cards? Think about it. All the things that they are doing, people losing jobs, people getting unemployed because it's this great thing that we're going cashless. So why are we getting charged then to use our credit card? Shouldn't it be the opposite? If we're not having to have people stand there and count cash, if we're not having to transport it all around between the branches, if they're able to close branches because it can be all done online, isn't that a saving that should be passed on to us? No. It's so their shareholders can make more money. So we're losing money, but we're paying money at the same time to use our card. You need to think about that. Truly, you need to fucking think about that. That's fucking crazy. I don't know what popped in my mind the other day. I think I went for a breakfast at Ngowrie last week. Oh, fucking amazing little eggs Benedict there, and it was like a 15% surcharge on my credit card for a Sunday. Oh, I'm okay with that. I got no problem with that. The people are working on a Sunday when they could be out doing stuff, 15% surcharge, no problem with that. But then, on top of 15%, I get a credit card charge for using my credit card. And I'm thinking, why? Because everything's supposed to be cheap. It's done online. Are we paying a computer a wage that just worked out that sum, that took the money out of my account and put it in another account? Is that computer getting paid? And where the fuck is that computer spending the money? What's he buying, another computer? What? I don't know. But you need to fucking ask that question. I tell you what. I'm talking. I got me Roosters top 5, but I ain't going to get into that week because I'm running out of time, and I've got to always try to keep it below 60 minutes. So I've got a lot that we can put in next week's show. So we're going to move on to this week's games. So started off last night, obviously, with the Storm and the Broncos. Now the Storm 22 over the Broncos too. I mean, Broncos were up against it from the start, losing their half and 5-8. But fuck, the Broncos the Storm are starting to make a run. And Harry Grant, I just cannot be more impressed with Harry Grant and the way he's playing. He is fucking just sensational at the moment, the way he's playing. I think Harry Grant's just, the way I look at it now, if I'm picking a side in Australia, Harry Grant's the first bloke I play. He's just taken it to another level. And I really think it showed last week against the Roosters of all teams when they lost their halfback, and you could literally see Harry Grant take it up a level during the game. And last night his dummy half play was sensational. And the sign of a really good player is a player that when the going gets tough and you get short, he wants the ball in his hand. I see so many good players, and when they're behind and they're in the opposition 25-metre line, they might only touch the ball one time in a set of 6. Harry Grant wants to touch it every single fucking time in the set of 6. Now, the other player that used to do that was Brad Fittler, Freddie, when he was at the Roosters. If the Roosters were behind and he was playing 5-8, and they had a set of 6, Freddie would want the ball at first receiver 4 times out of 6 in that set of 6. He'd command the ball because he wanted to take the game on. Harry Grant was like that. And just quickly, so it reminded me of a player that I used to play with called Chris Johnson. God rest his soul, he's not with us anymore. Such a great bloke. Greatest footballer I've ever played with or against. Should have been playing, if he was rugby, he should have been playing fucking for the Waratahs. Could have played anywhere with the league. He's just brilliant. But he was like that. When the going got tough as a coach and a captain, I literally would throw him the ball. And I would say to him, mate, I want you to do something. We're getting behind here. We're losing the game. We're starting to fall back. The boys are getting tired. And he would, on command, he would do it. He would chuck a pass. He would bust a tackle and offload. He would do something himself. He would kick a ball that from an angle and he'd find... He was just like that. Never matter what it was, he had that command on the field. And he got me thinking about that last night when I was talking about Harry Grant and how Harry Grant's at that level and Fred Fittler was the other one that was at that level. So we got the Knights and the Panthers tonight. I think the Panthers too strong. Tomorrow, then the late game tonight, the Raiders and Seagulls. This is a great game. Seagulls are on the line. Seagulls lose tonight, they can't make it. But I think the Raiders, after the loss last week, the Raiders will pick back. Dragons and Sharks. Jeez, I can see the Sharks causing an upset here. I think the Dragons will get up. Dolphins and Roosters, game it around. Winner's going to make the semi-finals. The loser could fall out. Roosters, obviously, for me. Warriors and Bulldogs, I think the Warriors might not win another game this year. Truly, they might not win another game this year. I'm taking the Bulldogs. Titans and Rabbits. Titans by about 30 over the Rabbits. Eels and Cowboys. I think the Eels by 20 over the Cowboys. Cowboys are fucked. New coach coming up for them. That's how it's going to fucking be. What's coming up for Bus? I'll tell you what's coming up for Bus. Another fucking beer for a start. I've got a few things coming up in the next week. Okay? I'll tell you what, I've tried pouring this beer heaps of different ways, and I can't pour it without pouring a head on it. So it must have, I don't know, it must have a lot of gas in it. But fuck, it's a good beer. I really like it. Anyway, let's talk about that beer before we get on to what's coming up for Bus. You know what? I'm actually going to pause it because I've got to have a piss. Yeah, so listen, get around this beer. I'll tell you what, it's not a bad beer. Wandana Brewing Co. It's up at Mullumbimby. Give it a crack. It's called the Roadie. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it 4 stars out of 5. I think it's a great beer. It's definitely a beer you can go deep on. It's not as good as the Traveller, which is so far as my number 1 beer, but it's right up there. It's one of the better ones. So do yourself a favour and get into Wandana Brewing Co. There it is right there. Get yourself a little Roadie set of cans. It's a great beer. You're going to love it. What's Bus up to this week? I'll tell you what Bus is up to. I got the Yamba Music Festival on. We've got different bands at all the pubs and clubs around Yamba, also in the parks and down at the beach. Going to get around that. It looks good. Golf this week. Members, I'm going to join the club and be a member of the golf club and get into that there. I'll tell you what I am. I'm going up to a burlesque show at the Gold Coast with the wife. Not a stripping show, it's a burlesque show, which is, I think they strip but keep their clothes on. I don't know how that goes, but we're going up there to have a look at that. Semi-finals of the footy start this weekend. Fuck, I love Saturday football. Hot dogs, beer, your mates, the footy, you just can't beat it. But a big pump up for the week. I'll let you all know, the burlesque show, which is not a stripping show. Talk about stripping show. I don't know if you heard about old mate. Old mate worked all week. He's a labourer, he worked all week. Got his pay on a Thursday night. It's Friday. Paid all his bills. Missus got the money. All he's got. He's gone to the pub 5 o'clock. Had a great session. Put a bit in the pokies. Looked in his pocket. He's only got $10. But he's horny as fucking hell. Hasn't had a root for a month. And he got $10. Now he's lucky that 2 doors up the street, there's a brothel. So he goes into the brothel and he said, listen, I want to have sex. How much does it cost? The lady says, for $200 I can get you a really good fuck for $200 1 hour. He said, no, I can't afford that. She said, okay. I can get you oral sex. I can get you a head job, $100, however long it takes, $100. He said, no, he said, I can't afford that. She says, okay, I know you're a working man, looks like you've had a tough week. I'll tell you what I can do. $50. I've got a lady in there. She'll put her titties out and she'll give you a hand job. Hand job, $50. He said, no, I can't afford that. She said, how much fucking money you got? He said, I got $10. All I've got is $10 fucking dollars. What can you do for $10? She said, look, she said, I don't do this very often. I really don't. I've probably done it 3 times in the last 10 years. But I've got a room out the back there for $10. I'll take you out to the room. I've got a duck. I'll put the duck on the fucking bed. You can fuck a duck. $10. He said, yeah. He said, I'll take that. He said, I'm hanging out. I need a fuck. $10. So he goes in there and he has the best sex he's ever had with this fucking duck. Muskogee duck on the fucking bed. He got the cunt quacking. Quack, 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 quack. Passionate sex. Anyway, 2 weeks later, same predicament. He's worked his ass off. I think he was a bricklayer. That's a hard job, laying fucking bricks, bending over, mixing cement, carrying bricks. At the end of the week, but he's had a tough week this week. He got $5. All he got is $5. But he's fucking horny as hell. Hasn't had a fuck since he had that duck. So he goes to the brothel on the way home. He walks in, same lady there. He said, I need to have sex. She said, I've got a lovely lady in there, $200 you can... No, he said, I can't afford that. I've got a lady that'll give you a head job. Go out the back there, put you in a room, head job, $100. No, he said, I can't afford that. She said, your hand job. Freak you off. $50. I said, I can't even afford $50. She looks at him, she said, oh, you want the duck? He said, no. He said, I can't even afford the fucking duck. She looks at him and she feels sorry. She's a little spot in her heart and she feels sorry for him. So she says, listen, I'll tell you what I'll do. I don't do this very often. But I've got another room out there. You can go into this room and look through a window. But you've got to frig yourself. And there'll be people on the other side of the window having sex. He said, yeah, I'll have a go at that. So she takes him out the back to the room. He walks in the room and there's 20 guys in there. And they're all old fellas, fat fellas, young fellas, skinny fellas. And they're all there and they've all got their dicks out and they've all got their hand on it frigging. And they're all got their head up against the window looking through the window. So he goes over and he puts his head up against the window and he looks. And on the other side of the fucking window, there's 2 gorgeous women on the bed having sex. So he starts getting into himself. And he looks over the bloke beside him and he says, mate, how amazing is this? 2 gorgeous women in here having sex. The bloke looks at him and says, mate, you should have been here 2 weeks ago. There was a bloke in there having sex with a duck on the bed in front of everyone. Giddy up, you can't beat that. Hey, it's the Bus Hollman Show. You can get me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can watch this shit unfold on YouTube. And please can share because we want to keep this going. Remember, chicks dig scars. No, I'm sorry. I'm a bit charged up. And that was a fucking funny yarn. That was a funny joke, that cunt. Chicks dig scars. Pain goes away. And glory lasts forever. Have a good one, everyone. Remember, if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. Giddy up.